You guys, it is boiling, but I'm here at the drugstore because I'm going to share with you guys some skincare hacks that you're not even ready for. So buckle up, buttercups, because it's summer, it's hot, stuff is popping up left and right, probably on your skin that you don't want to look at, you don't want to think about. It's itchy, it's oozy, it's weepy. Let's get in there and fix stuff. So this is chlorhexidine solution, usually sold under the brand name Hibiclens. And if you use this under the arms, let it sit on the skin for a few minutes and then rinse off. It's a great way to cut down on body odor, similar to how I talk about using benzoyl peroxide. This, in contrast to benzoyl peroxide, tends to be less drying. It's also really good to use it that way if you have hidradenitis suppurativa. And it's also helpful as a foot wash to cut down on foot odor. And if you get recurrent little pimples on the rear end, the thighs, known as folliculitis, this can help cut down on recurrences quite a bit. This is betadine, another antiseptic that also can be helpful for deodorizing in a similar fashion. The issue with this is it is a little bit more likely to be irritating and it makes a mess. Now this is a spray, but usually I tell people to get either the solution, but honestly these swab sticks are a really handy way to use it, less messy. So that's another great option. $8.49 here at CVS. Here is a zinc oxide skin protectant ointment. This is basically like a diaper rash cream. Great if you get chafing. It can be used on the face, albeit it is a bit heavy. Now it says protects and dries the oozing and weeping of poison ivy, poison oak, and poison sumac. It certainly can be helpful and also limits the penetration of the allergen, the urushiol. It's a mouthful to say. Alternatively, another great option to reduce the oozing, this ichthymol ointment is amazing for weepy, oozy, itchy rashes, especially if you get dyshydrotic hand eczema, which I do, because it kind of draws out the fluid and helps silence the itch. Its mechanism is actually kind of similar to how coal tar works for psoriasis. It has anti-inflammatory compounds. Highly recommend. It can be difficult to find, but they have it here at CVS. Walgreens also, I believe, has a version of it. If you get boils, this is also really helpful. Now, benzocaine is a topical anesthetic. I say stay away from that, or stay away from lidocaine, because allergy to these is relatively common. Ichthymol, though, can be really helpful for a boil. If you deal with recurrent boils, check out my video on boils. I give a lot of tips for preventing them. They're basically a deeper version of a folliculitis infection around the hair follicle. Boil just extends down deeper. You can have multiple. This is another underrated product, Rosacea. It's a topical sulfur, really good for cutting down on the bumps associated with rosacea, the pustules, and it's also really helpful for acne as well. Safe to use in pregnancy. I always talk about this whenever I bring up poison ivy, but it's really helpful for soothing poison ivy. It's also really helpful for anything that oozes, just kind of helps dry it up and soothe it. You just dissolve one of these packets in a tub of water and soak. Alternatively, you can put it in a basin of water, and then you can soak a washcloth and do a compress with it. Witch hazel is an astringent. It can help with redness, inflammation, though some people find it is irritating. You know, there are a ton of acne toners, etc. with witch hazel, but check this out. CVS has a witch hazel spray, and the ingredient is just witch hazel, and of course it is in an aerosol. It has some alcohol to make it fast absorbing. Could be drying, but check this out if you're someone who enjoys witch hazel. This can be really handy if you get hangnails. Just sterilize some manicure scissors with like a alcohol prep pad, trim the hangnail, and then kind of glue it down with this. It'll help it to not snag on things and allow the skin to heal. Whatever you do though, don't chew off the hangnail. Here's some other hydrocolloid patches from Band-Aid brand, $15.49. See that hydrocolloid material? It absorbs fluid. So silicone scar sheets and scar gels definitely can help to improve the appearance of raised thickened scars. They can help with scars that have been there for a long time, but they're most effective when used early on in the healing process. And they're not going to be helpful for depressed scars like atrophic scars, rolling scars, boxcar scars. But another thing that can be super helpful for raised thickened scars is just plain petroleum jelly. I mean, it acts as a skin protectant and it lubricates the scar surface, which is really helpful because frictional forces contribute to further scar thickening and abnormal healing. So that helps to reduce those forces. Allantoin is another good ingredient for a similar, skin protectant effect. One area that is really prone to scarring is the central chest, just because of the nature of the skin there and the kind of the tension leads to more thickened scars. And then of course some people are just genetically more predisposed to making thickened raised scars, so this can be very helpful. Now it looks like Mederma has their advanced scar gel with allantoin, but it also has the onion bulb extract, which in theory is helpful for healing. Then what is this new quick dry oil? I haven't seen that before. This has onion bulb extract in it as well, along with a variety of other oils, which are emollients, may help smooth the scar surface and cut down on frictional forces. My goodness, how fancy is this hydrocortisone cream gonna get? It's got lavender and melatonin in it. Listen, itch gets a lot worse at night, for sure. To what extent the melatonin and lavender are really going to be that helpful? Well, melatonin is an antioxidant, so it may help with calming down inflammation to a certain extent. But all that to say, if you have bug bites, over-the-counter hydrocortisone is a good thing to put on a bug bite. The one issue you have to be worried about here is that the lavender, putting it on a bug bite, increases the risk for contact dermatitis. So I would just stick to plain hydrocortisone cream. But whatever you do, I don't recommend putting this on the face. More likely to have adverse side effects on the face, like acne-like breakouts, rosacea-like breakouts, skin thinning, and it's not safe to use around the eyes. And hydrocortisone on the face can also lead to periorificial dermatitis, whether it be around your mouth, people call that perioral dermatitis, or around your eyes or nose. And it's actually a variant of rosacea, so that makes sense. You can also get like a rosacea-like reaction from inappropriate use of topical steroids on the face. It's not to say they can never be used on the face. We prescribe them to patients for our various facial skin problems all the time. But if you don't know what you're dealing with and your doctor has not told you specifically to use hydrocortisone, I don't recommend just self-treating because, again, the risk of complications. Provided you're not allergic to menthol, this can actually be really helpful for itch, especially if you put it in the refrigerator and apply it to the itchy skin while it's chilled. The cold temperature plus the menthol is like a double hitter to silence itch. So this is capsaicin, a roll-on meant for pain relief, but it can also be super helpful if you get itching in the upper middle back, often related to pinching of the little nerves. It's called notalgia paresthetica, and this really helps alleviate that. Just get somebody to help you apply it to the mid-back. This is the best over-the-counter treatment for athlete's foot, Lamisil. Drug name is terbinafine. But when you use this, make sure to put it on all surfaces of the feet, including between the toes and around and underneath the toenails. Unfortunately, there has been lately the emergence of antifungal resistant ringworm coming from India. Started. It's now here in the US, and it is thought that the antifungal resistance emerged because of inappropriate use of high-potency steroid creams, which is why I always caution about not self-treating with over-the-counter hydrocortisone, because say, for example, you have a ringworm, you think you're just treating an eczema, it'll calm down the symptoms and clear up the rash appearance, but the fungus is thriving in the setting of the topical steroid. So yeah, all that to say, definitely follow up with your dermatologist if you have ringworm or jock itch. These are all types of dermatophyte skin infections, athlete's foot. If they are not clearing up, follow up with your doctor, because we are running into antifungal resistant ringworm these days. So this is loratadine, an antihistamine that's non-sedating, great for seasonal allergies. But did you know that loratadine used in conjunction with isotretinoin shows promise for yielding better results in terms of improving acne, as well as reducing the side effects of isotretinoin, aka Accutane, compared to just isotretinoin alone, because loratadine, through the antihistamine effect, it leads to an anti-inflammatory effect that may be helpful for not only helping with clearing acne, but also in cutting down on side effects from isotretinoin, such as dryness, peeling, and skin irritation. Well guys, that about wraps this drugstore shop with me video up. Hope you enjoyed hearing these little fun skincare hacks, tips, tricks, etc. If you guys like this video, on the end slate, I'm going to put one of my other drugstore skincare hacks videos, because I've got a ton of these and I give a lot of pearls that are useful in my opinion, and hopefully you guys think so too. If you thought so, if you enjoyed this video, if it provided you any sort of entertainment / education, maybe a hybrid of the two, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.